Greetings, fellow horror fans. Well, look at the Friday the 13th franchise continues on with Part 6, Jason Lives. So, here we go. After the events at Pinehurst Halfway House, Tommy Jarvis, who killed mass murderer Jason Voorhees, returns to Crystal Lake, now renamed Forest Green. Tommy, still suffering from hallucinations ever since his past encounter with Jason, arrives with his friend Alan Hawes, hoping to cremate Jason's body and finally end his hallucinations once and for all. Good luck with that, pal. At the cemetery, they exhume Jason's corpse, but seeing it causes Tommy to have an audio flashback to killing Jason, and he stabs Jason's body with a metal fence post. As he turns his back on Jason, two lightning bolts strike the post and revive Jason, who kills Hawes with a punch of the heart and retrieves the hockey mask Tommy brought with him. Why did you do that? Tommy flees to the sheriff's office to warn the police of Jason's return, but he is caught and arrested. His warning that Jason has returned goes unheeded by Sheriff Micah Garris. The sheriff, who was aware of Tommy's institutionalization, man, that's a hard word to pronounce and say, and thinks he is imagining Jason, locks Tommy in a cell. On the road, camp counselors Darren and Elizabeth get lost looking for the camp. They are killed by Jason, who impales them both with a metal rod that resurrected him. Coincidence? Irony? You make the call. Following, Garris's daughter Megan and her friends Sissy, Cord, and Paula arrive to report Darren and Elizabeth missing. Tommy warns them about Jason, but as he is now considered an urban legend, they ignore his warnings, though Megan becomes attracted to him. In the woods, Jason happens upon a corporate paintball game. He kills the players for the equipment. During these kills, Jason discovers that he is far stronger than before when he rips off a man's arm. Well, you are basically a zombie now, and I guess zombies are stronger than regular people? I don't know. It's weird, I guess. At Camp Forest Green, the children arrive, and the teens do their best to run the camp without Darren and Elizabeth. Meanwhile, Garris decides to escort Tommy out of his jurisdiction due to his influence on Megan. Tommy tries to make a run for Jason's grave, but finds that the caretaker has covered it up to deny responsibility for it being dug up, and Hawes' body is buried in its place. Tommy is then handcuffed and escorted out of town by Garris, who warns him never to return. That night, Jason murders the caretaker and a nearby couple who witnessed the murder. Meanwhile, Court goes out to have sex with a girl named Nikki, but Jason kills them both. The sheriff's men find the victim's body, and Garris immediately implicates Tommy in the murders, believing he has gone insane imagining Jason. Yeah, I don't think that's true. Tommy contacts Megan and convinces her to help him lure Jason back into Crystal Lake. Meanwhile, Jason makes his way to the camp and kills both Sissy and Paula, who refrains from harming the children. That's good. Meanwhile, Tommy and Megan are pulled over by Garris. Despite Megan's alibi that she was with Tommy, he does not believe him to be innocent and arrests him, and then goes to the camp to investigate. As Tommy and Megan develop a ruse to trick the watching deputy and escape, Jason kills Garris and two other deputies when they arrive at the camp. Jason is about to kill Megan when Tommy calls to him from the lake. Apparently remembering his killer, Jason goes after Tommy instead. Tommy is attacked in a boat in the middle of the lake and ties a boulder around Jason's neck to trap him. Jason fights back, holding Tommy underwater long enough to drown him. Megan rushes out to save him, but is nearly killed when Jason grabs her leg. She turns the boat's activated motor around onto Jason's neck, and he releases her. She takes Tommy back to shore and uses CPR to revive him. Tommy says that it is finally over and Jason is home. Under the water, anchored to the bottom of the lake, Jason is still alive. The final shot of the film is his eyes staring off into the water, waiting patiently for an opportunity to return. Ugh, that's pretty scary. So let's look at the production scene, beginning with pre-production and writing. Although the previous film in the series, Friday the 13th: A New Beginning, had been a financial success, and had disappointed the series fans and received some of the worst reviews of any film in the series. In order to prevent further alienating the fans, thus potentially endangering the series, the producers decided to take the series in a new direction, moving it away from producer Frank Musco Jr. called the coarse nature of a new beginning. To this end, Musco hired Tom McLoughlin, who had directed the successful horror film One Dark Night, but was also known around Hollywood for shopping around various comedy scripts he had written, a dichotomy that appealed to Musco. McLoughlin was given free rein on how he would present the story, with the only condition being that he bring back Jason and make him the film's villain. McLoughlin decided to take the film in the direction of an old Universal Monsters movie, specifically the 1931 version of Frankenstein, which portrayed the monster as a lumbering killer brought to life by electricity. McLoughlin also drew from vampire lore in order to give Jason a weakness, namely being returned to his home soil. To achieve this, McLoughlin disregarded the idea presented in Part 2 that Jason had survived his drowning, instead presenting the idea that Jason has always been some sort of supernatural force. He also decided to retcon the ending of the fifth film, where Tommy Jarvis was a serial killer. Pam struck from the fifth film can be seen, indicating she is alive. In the Tommy tapes for Friday the 13th of the Game, written by Anna Green, it's explained that the ending of the fifth film was Tommy's dream. Oh, that's good to know. McLoughlin further decided to expand the series' thematic scope, incorporating action film elements and postmodern meta-humor. When Jason is first encountered in the woods near Crystal Lake, the character Elizabeth comments that she and Darren should flee because she knows about the proper conduct to survive a horror film. McLoughlin would further satirize the series itself, as Martin the Gravedigger comments on Jason's exclamation, "Why they have to go and dig up Jason?" before breaking the fourth wall and addressing the camera with the observation, "Some folks sure got a strange idea of entertainment." In addition to Frankenstein, McLoughlin also cited as inspiration his love of Gothic horror, including the works of Edgar Allan Poe and his Catholic upbringing. Jason Lives features the series' only explicit references to God. During the climax, a praying girl is spared by Jason. A similar scene, which same girl prays for Tommy while making perform CPR, the mouse "thank you" while looking skyward, was deleted from the final cut of the movie, apparently against McLoughlin's wishes. He recalled in the 2009 DVD's director commentary, "Somehow it didn't stay in. Probably too much sentiment." Anyway, on to casting. The decision to retcon the events of Part 5 resulted in many members from the film's cast, whose characters had survived, having their contracts to return for a sequel terminated. At one point in time when Jason Lives was being considered as a direct sequel to A New Beginning rather than to the final chapter, the surviving characters Pam and Reggie from A New Beginning were to have died in the film's opening moments. Although Musco retained control over the film's casting, it deferred to McLoughlin's judgment. The only caveat was that the final girl had to be a very attractive blonde. To fulfill this requirement, McLoughlin chose Jennifer Cook, based on her performance in the television series V. The role of Hawes, Tommy's would-be sidekick who dies within the first 5 minutes of the movie, was given to another television veteran, Ron Palillo, sorry if I mispronounced that, famous for the role of Horshack on Welcome Back, Kotter. John Shepard was initially asked to reprise his role as Tommy Jarvis from the previous film. Shepard, an evangelical Christian who had reservations about returning to the series, based on the atmosphere surrounding New Beginning, was initially attracted to Jason Lives based on the scene in which a praying girl is spared by Jason. He ultimately decided to film Caught, and shortly thereafter retired from acting to go to seminary. Tom Matthews, who took over the mantle of Tommy Jarvis, was chosen for his work in the horror comedy Return of the Living Dead, although McLoughlin himself was unaware of Matthews' horror credentials until after shooting began. Other cast members are called from actors who McLoughlin had directed before, such as David Kagan, who was also an acting teacher for female lead Jennifer Cook, and McLoughlin's own family. Jason's first female victim in the film, Elizabeth, was played by McLoughlin's wife, Nancy. In keeping with the series' tradition, the role of Jason was given to his stuntman, Dan Bradley. Bradley, however, was replaced shortly thereafter by J.C. Graham. Bradley's involvement during the paintball scene is kept. Now, filming. After the first day of filming, Musco decided that he disliked Bradley's appearance on screen as Jason. Although the scenes that Bradley filmed, in which Jason kills the paintball-playing executives, were kept in the completed picture. The rest of Jason's scenes were performed by J.C. Graham, an area restaurant manager and former soldier. As part of a stage show put on at the restaurant, a magician would hypnotize audience members and place them in a scenario during which they encountered Jason Voorhees. Graham, who stood 6'3" and weighed 250 pounds, was asked to play Jason for the scenario. Jason Live's special effects coordinator, Martin Becker, was in the audience for one such show, and recommended Graham to Musco and McLaughlin. Both men were impressed with Graham's presence, and he was hired to film the remainder of Jason's scenes. Jason Lives would become notable for being the only film in the franchise to contain no nudity. The characters in the film's sole sex scene are both fully clothed, unconscious of McLaughlin's part to distance the series from the notion that the Friday the 13th films were morality tales in which premarital sex was punished by death. Okay, there we go. McLaughlin was pressured by the film's producers to have Darcy DeMoss remove her shirt in the RV sex scene, but he only suggested the idea to DeMoss, who refused. Jason Lives was filmed in Covington, Georgia, an area close to Atlanta, Georgia. The scenes involving the police department and town were filmed in Covington, while the camp scenes were filmed at Camp Daniel Morgan outside the city limits of Covington. In the film, Camp Crystal Lake has been renamed Lake Forest Green. Surrounding Camp Daniel Morgan are Smokey the Bear signs asking everyone to keep the forest green. That's interesting. Some of the climactic moments of the film involving the primary characters in Lake were actually filmed in the swimming pool of McLaughlin's father. Although McLaughlin ruined the pool's filter in the process, it was jammed by gore turned into the water when Jason hit with a boat propeller. McLaughlin's father was pleased that he could now boast a Hollywood film had been shot in his backyard. Now on to post-production. McLaughlin's attempt to deliver a different kind of Friday the 13th film were met with skepticism from the producers. In contrast to the series' other entries, which had to be edited for violence in order to avoid an X rating, the film's producers requested that McLaughlin add additional gore, violence, and murders to the film. The original cut of the film contained 13 killings as an in-joke. In order to appease the studio, McLaughlin had to add an additional 3 killings, bringing the total up to 16. These were the killings of Martin the Gravedigger and the recently engaged couple on a nighttime picnic. The scene of Jason killing Martin would later be cited by McLaughlin as one of his favorite parts of the movie, the shot in which the picnicking man suddenly realizes he's been spotted by Jason, which McLaughlin felt to be the film's scariest moment. Additionally, McLaughlin was made to extend Sissy's death, adding the shots of Jason dragging her to the ground and twisting her head off. As originally filmed, Sissy was simply pulled out of the cabin window and wasn't seen again until Megan finds her head in the squad car. Ugh. McLaughlin also found himself in contention with the producers over how the film should end. In the original script, the movie was supposed to have concluded in the graveyard, with Martin the Gravedigger meeting Jason's father, Elias, a heretofore unseen character in the series, with the implication that Elias knows Jason has been resurrected and has come looking for him. The studio balked at the scene, as they did not want the responsibility of having to introduce Elias's backstory in the next installment. Additionally, the added murder of Martin made the scene an impossibility to shoot. This ending would have tied up a continuity error from A New Beginning, where it is mentioned that Jason was cremated. A deleted scene from Jason Lives had Tommy asking Sheriff Garris why Jason wasn't cremated, as been planned, at which point Garris informs him that someone paid the city to bury Jason. Elias handing Martin a wad of money would have indicated that he was the man who paid for Jason's burial. The scene was later storyboarded for inclusion in the film's deluxe edition DVD release, with Bob Larkin reprising his role as Martin to provide voiceover. Elias, like Jason, was scripted to be completely silent. McLaughlin ultimately shot 3 endings, 2 of which, against his expectations, were not included in the film's DVD release. In one ending, Jason's mask floats to the surface of Crystal Lake, having become detached during his struggle with Megan. In another, Deputy Cologne was seen trying to reach jail cell keys after having been locked in by Tommy and Megan. The door to the police station opens and the film abruptly ends, indicating that Jason had managed to get free. The producers disliked both of these endings, as each one left Jason's survival ambiguous, and wanted explicitly shown on screen that he was still capable of returning for a sequel. As a result, McLaughlin shot the film's used ending, showing a close-up of Jason's open, twitching eye. Now on to music. The film's music was composed by Harry Manfredini, who composed the scores to all the series' previous installments. In addition to the original score, the soundtrack also featured He's Back, The Man Behind the Mask by Alice Cooper from his album Constrictor, I Know Animal by Felony from their album Vigilante, Teenage Frankenstein by Alice Cooper from his album Constrictor, and Hard Rock Summer by Alice Cooper from the box set The Life and Crimes of Alice Cooper. He's Back had an accompanying music video, combining clips from the film with new footage featuring Cooper. It is not present on any home video release of the film, but may be viewed on YouTube. On January 13, 2012, La La Land Records released a limited edition 6-CD box set containing Manfredini's scores from the first 6 Friday the 13th films. It sold out in less than 24 hours. And now into the novelization. A novelization of Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, was written by Simon Hawke in 1986. Notably, the novelization features an appearance by Elias Voorhees, Jason's father, who was originally meant to appear in the film, but was cut. The book also includes various flashbacks to Jason's childhood, and the backstories of characters such as Tommy and Sheriff Garris are also expanded. That's kind of neat. So overall, yeah, this is definitely one of the fan favorite entries in the series, and even though I haven't seen it yet, I might check it out eventually, so yeah. So overall, I give Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, 5 jack-o'-lanterns out of 5. Well, tune in tomorrow as we take a look at Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. So, until then,